Thank you for joining us for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with Joshua Weisel. Nice day today. Sounds like the big day is tomorrow when we really might see some rain.
Oh, yes. So starting overnight tonight, that's when we're going to start to see things pick up in terms of those rain chances. But today is going to actually be a pretty good day, maybe even some record-breaking temperatures once again. So we're not quite done with those temperatures, even though we did have a weak cold front. It didn't do anything. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on outside right now. And like I said, there was that little cold front that pushed through yesterday. You probably heard us talk about that throughout the day yesterday. It didn't really impact those temperatures. It was a little bit cooler overnight, and it's already a little bit cooler at this time compared to yesterday. But still, we're going to be near record-breaking temperatures for this time of year. Well above average already, 70s across the board, even 80 in Waldron right now. Here's a look at what we've got with the record today. Set in 1950 for both Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Fort Smith was around 80. We're going to probably hit that, and then looks to be a little bit warmer, maybe record-breaking in Northwest Arkansas as it looks right now with the forecast. Throughout the next several hours, we're going to keep some of those clouds today. It's also going to be warm. Overnight tonight, though, that's when we see those rain chances increase into tomorrow morning, and the rest of the day. We'll have more on that forecast here coming up.
Thank you, Joshua. Results are in from special elections where several local cities cast their vote. Now, first in Ozark, voters weighed in on creating a downtown entertainment district, which would have allowed alcohol consumption in the corridor. Voters overwhelmingly turned that one down, the proposal losing by more than 100 votes. Greenland voters turned down the ballot measure annexing a property on the southern part of town. That one failed by more than 17%. And Bella Vista voters decided to keep the 1% sales tax and dedicate funding to every project that was on that ballot. Fort Smith City directors are saying yes to a proposed rate increase at the city's landfill. Starting January 1st, the rate for commercial trash disposal will increase from $36 a ton to $50. The rate for waste brought in by a pickup truck will rise from $20 per vehicle to $25. City staff says these increases are needed.
The report demonstrated that the rates which were last changed in 2020 are currently inadequate to cover the increasing cost of providing solid waste services, which have been driven by a greater than 25% increase in the consumer price index over that time, as well as increased level of service and increased non-departmental requirements.
Directors also improved an ordinance that would force them to discuss at length any major capital projects before they're approved. The ordinance mandates at least 7 calendar days between a study session, presentation, and the vote itself on projects that cost more than $100,000. The Fayetteville City Council is hitting the brakes on a rezoning proposal that would clear the way for a new Ramey Junior High campus. Last night's discussion brought out some strong opinions on both sides, from neighbors who are worried about the environmental impact to school leaders who say this plan fits the city's goals for growth and walkability. And even after all that, council members were not ready to vote. The rezone would allow Fayetteville Public Schools to build a new Ramey Junior High just east of College Avenue on land the district has already purchased. District leaders say the project would keep the school close to families, reduce east-west travel, and preserve more than 30% of the natural landscape. But many neighbors told council members they're concerned about the loss of trees, the steep slope, and long-term impact on traffic and stormwater.
We would prefer to see another site. And in addition to having raised the funds to make the school district whole, we also have scouted other potential sites.
Say they use the time to review the plans and ask questions since they left it on the first reading. City officials say it will come back at their next meeting on the second reading. The search continues in Arkansas for an escaped inmate. The Department of Corrections says Wayne Schultz was reported missing from his work release assignment at the Port of Little Rock on Tuesday. They say he could have possibly fled in a 2015 white Dodge pickup. Schultz is being housed at the Benton Work Release Unit as he served an 8-year sentence for breaking and entering. Lonoke County Assistant Principal has written a resignation letter behind bars after being arrested for sexual assault. Trent Morgan will make his first court appearance this morning. The England School District accepted his resignation at Tuesday's school board meeting. He was also the boys basketball coach for the school. The England police chief says several search warrants were executed, 2 for vehicles associated with the alleged crime and 1 for digital evidence. A rising number of drivers illegally passing stopped school buses is prompting Bentonville school leaders to start talking. The district has had 2 students hit by vehicles in the last couple months. On Tuesday, the district's transportation department said there were 113 stop arm violations in October reported to police. That's up from 85 in September. The district shared these videos showing times bus caught drivers ignoring the stop arm and flashing red lights. Arkansas law requires drivers to stop at least 30 feet away from a school bus displaying flashing red lights and an extended stop arm. Bentonville police are actively monitoring for drivers passing buses illegally.
The number of violations to me is unreal because that's way too many. And so hopefully with the police following the traffic units, that'll put a stop in a lower number to those people violating.
No action was taken by the board. This was just an information presentation. But as of now, there is no change in any transportation policy. We're learning a former Madison County sheriff has died. The sheriff's office announced Philip Morgan's death on Tuesday. He held the position from 1999 until he retired in 2016. The sheriff's office says it's offering condolences to Morgan's friends and family. Well, 2 people arrested in connection to the July shooting death of Benton County wrestler Kevin Nichol appear in court today. Nichols, also known to fans as Ivan Warsaw. U.S. Marshals arrested Michael Hogue and Amanda Penny. Investigators say Nichol was found with a gunshot wound along Highway 12 in July and later died at a hospital. Hogue is now charged with first-degree murder. Penny's charged with accomplice to first-degree murder. Both also face firearm charges. Nichols' mother says the family is grateful to see this case move forward.
Some people wait years. Some people, they never know. So 4 months, actually, if you look at the big picture, is not that long.
Both suspects had a bond hearing set for 11 this morning. We've learned the search for a Conway doctor accused of rape has ended. Langley Peoples turned himself into Faulkner County Jail this afternoon. U.S. Marshals were looking for him for the past day, and they say tips from the public were key for tracking him down. He's accused of sexually assaulting a 70-year-old patient at Baptist Hospital in Conway while she was recovering from surgery. The hospital said in a statement that he has since been fired. A fast-moving bill that would force the Justice Department to release the full Epstein files is now on its way to the president's desk. The legislation has sparked renewed hope among Epstein survivors who gathered on Capitol Hill this week to celebrate the move toward transparency. The bill would require the Justice Department to release all unclassified Epstein documents within 30 days. It sailed through Congress with overwhelming bipartisan support, passing the House with only 1 member opposed, and the Senate approving it moments later by unanimous consent.
I think that there's a lot of information in there about not only people
that we haven't heard before, that we
have not heard before, in terms of names of people that not only participated in these crimes, but the people that enabled the crimes.
As the White House faces renewed scrutiny, the president has said he'll sign the legislation while also accusing political opponents of weaponizing the investigation. Lawmakers warn the DOJ must not delay the release of the remaining documents. Every Arkansas lawmaker in Congress voted to pass the bill to release the Epstein files. 3rd District Congressman Steve Womack was the only state congressman who didn't vote. He was not on the floor, as he says he's dealing with a family health issue. He says it's the first vote he has missed in the last 15 years. Well, Appleseeds Farm is a nonprofit based in Fayetteville. During the school year, Appleseeds runs a program for kindergarten through 5th grade all across Northwest Arkansas. 5 News anchor Tiffany Lee had the chance to catch up with them in Springdale to see the lessons they're teaching in the classroom that can help students in the real world.
Arkansas is in the top 3 states in the union for both childhood food insecurity and diet-related illness. And one of the things that we can do is we can have programs that help kids learn how to cook fresh produce, where their food comes from, and give them a greater understanding of that.
Springdale Schools has partnered with Appleseeds Farm for a few years.
One time I went to Appleseeds and we made green smoothies, and I have a recipe cookbook at my house.
Mila, a 3rd grader at Westwood Elementary, has gone to work with the nonprofit a few times while attending Springdale Schools. When we visited, they were making kale chips.
We had to put lots of peppers and salts in it.
Giving students the opportunity to learn beyond the books and get hands-on life lessons.
The kids get to cut up their own cucumbers, they get to learn knife safety, they get to learn how to bake things, and they get to learn how to measure different herbs and spices.
Tova from Appleseed says that they love partnering with schools all over Northwest Arkansas, helping not only in the kitchen, but the NWA community.
Making sure that we're donating high-quality produce to the students at the school.
Which Tova says is especially important during the recent pause in SNAP benefits and the upcoming holiday season.
Oftentimes, fresh produce is too expensive in the stores if you are on a really tight budget. And so we're able to have really fresh organic produce. We harvest it the morning that the kids get it, and then it goes home with them with recipes of what can be made with it at home.
Appleseeds donated 16,000 pounds of fresh produce to schools around Northwest Arkansas last year and has already passed that amount this year. Coming up.